Hello, Dr. Mel. Hello, classmates and viewers. Welcome once again to Communication 380 Advocacy and Social Mobilization. Today we are going to discuss about a framework on monitoring and evaluating an informal social organization. Or is it even possible? The exponential rise of social media use led to the proliferation of informal groups, often volunteerism in nature, in the country. In this presentation, we will try to understand informal volunteerism and determine the possibility of monitoring and evaluation for the informal groups on a suggested framework based on our discussions. An informal volunteer group differs a lot from a formal organization. A volunteer group is generally defined as individuals who choose to dedicate their time, effort, and skills to a cause or activity without expecting financial compensation. It may be made up of an organized agency that accommodates volunteers for various reasons, such as to address needs within a community, support a specific cause, or provide assistance to others. Another type, easily approachable and often more humanitarian, are the informal groups. They are more flexible and may respond faster in most cases. They are not registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission nor the Cooperative Development Authority or even at the local government unit. The reasons may be varied, such as lack of sufficient funding, changes of purposes, or lack of actual structures, among others. This report focuses on the latter. The advocacy, communication, and social mobilization process of an informal volunteer organization, more often than not, focuses on influencing the action of individuals as they encourage active participation. It is the private individuals who are often easy to convince, as well as easier and faster to act. Secondary is to influence decision makers and communities with information. Social mobilization engages communities in collective action. In monitoring and evaluation, it is always practical to refer to SMART as a matter of objective for most organizations, whether formal or informal. These are measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. The rationale is the same with formal organizations. Stakeholders will always find satisfaction where specific objectives are met, such as the total distributed items or total number of beneficiaries. The benefactors and even the volunteers would check to see if what are being proposed to be done are achievable before they even commit to join or support a proposed action. They are aware of the action's relevance and they often have the date and time for said activities as it is their actions and presence that is required. Unlike formal groups, informal volunteer organizations have a lot of leeway in their processes, although they could beat formal ones. For instance, Karinderya ni Mang Urut or KMU organization I discussed earlier surprisingly gets corporate support from the likes of ABS-CBN, Asian Development Bank, Access Employee Organization, or the Quezon City government despite the lack of official receipts or even execution of formal agreements. For its documentation, it often includes video and photo postings that cover from preparation to the actual footages of real people receiving the donated items of food, school supplies, hygiene kits, or out-of-town recreational activities. Their lack of rigid system in posting is another strength that shows much more than the curated posts of larger, formal organizations. Every volunteer can post their own footages, whether in the group page or in their own social media wall. The biggest strength of the KMU group is its transparency, where stakeholders can come in and check the operational office 24/7. From benefactor, volunteers to beneficiaries, the office is open in such a manner that trust is established and unquestionable. Benefactors often have a fixed system for monitoring and evaluating their chosen informal group in order to determine whether or not to continue their support. It becomes inevitable for them to understand how these groups function, their impact on the formal organization, and how to manage their influence. So, the benefactors would need to track their activities, assess their effects, and develop strategies to leverage their positive aspects while mitigating potential negative impacts. Informal organizations are often seen as cost-effective, transparent, reliable, with SMART objectives that can be monitored, and properly evaluated. It is why their lack of formal representation does not hinder them being sought by their corporate benefactors. Thank you once again for joining me. This is Margaret Tadeja-Cruz from Doctor of Sustainability for Advocacy and Social Mobilization. Have a nice day!